The police interviewed an ex-boyfriend of Erin's who says Charlie wasn't the first she tried to enlist to kill her family. Now, Terry asked Erin about it, and she denied it. He chose to believe her. I also asked Erin about it, and here's what she said.
In the dead of night, a teenage girl unlocked the door to her own home, not to return, but to invite death inside. What followed was a brutal massacre that tore apart a family and stunned a close-knit community. This is the chilling story of betrayal, obsession, and darkness hiding behind faith and innocence. In a quiet corner of East Texas, in the town of Alba, population just under 500, the Caffey family lived a life defined by faith, structure, and small-town simplicity. Terry Caffey, a youth pastor at Miracle Faith Baptist Church, and his wife Penny were deeply committed to raising their children in a religious household. Their daughter Erin, once homeschooled due to attention deficit disorder, had recently returned to public school just 6 weeks before everything fell apart. Erin, 16, had been described as a quiet, music-loving teen. She sang in the church choir, practiced piano, and seemed deeply involved in the family's spiritual life. But beneath that surface, something was unraveling. When Erin met 18-year-old Charlie Wilkinson at a local Sonic drive-in in 2007, what began as a teenage romance quickly spiraled into a deadly obsession. Charlie, infatuated from the start, gave Erin his grandmother's engagement ring as a promise. Her parents disapproved, especially after finding inappropriate messages and photos on Wilkinson's MySpace profile. They demanded Erin return the ring and cut ties with him. What happens when teenage rebellion festers into something unrecognizable? According to ABC News, after the fallout with her parents, Erin began quietly planning the unthinkable. She had even approached a former boyfriend, Michael Washburn, weeks before the murders and asked him to kill her parents. He refused, but Wilkinson didn't. By February 2008, the plot solidified. Erin would unlock the family's front door. She would help keep the family dog quiet. Wilkinson and his 20-year-old friend, Charles Wade, would carry out the killings. Wade's girlfriend, Bobby Johnson, would drive the getaway car. Erin would wait in that car, just down the road from her childhood home. On March 1, 2008, shortly after 3 a.m., Wilkinson and Wade slipped inside the Caffey home while Penny and Terry were asleep. Erin had made sure the door was open. Moments later, the peace was shattered. Penny Caffey was shot in her bed, then stabbed with a samurai sword so violently she was nearly decapitated. Terry was shot 11 times, including in the face and upper torso, according to court documents referenced by Wikipedia and NBC News. Still, he survived. As the gunfire rang out, 13-year-old Matthew emerged from his bedroom. He pleaded, Charlie, why are you doing this? No, Charlie. No, please." Wilkinson responded with a bullet to his head. 8-year-old Tyler was found under a bed. He had been stabbed repeatedly with the same sword. There were no survivors, except one. Terry, clinging to life, crawled from the burning house that Wilkinson and Wade set ablaze using Bic lighters, as detailed by The Independent. With blood pouring from his wounds, he dragged himself 300 yards through the dark woods, driven by one goal: to name his daughter's boyfriend before it was too late. He reached a neighbor's home over an hour later, collapsing on their porch.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
This is Tommy Gaston. I've got a man that's been shot out here at my house.
And is he breathing?
Yes.
When did this happen?
I don't know, just a little bit ago. And we've also got a house on fire out here.
I need to know where he was shot at.
I don't know.
He's right there and you don't know where he was shot?
Yes.
Where's he bleeding
He's bloody all over. I've got to hang up and help him.
All 4 suspects were found within 24 hours at a mobile home owned by Wade. Erin initially claimed she had been kidnapped, but under interrogation, And with Wilkinson and Wade both pointing to her as the architect of the murders, her story unraveled. Investigators, citing NBC News, learned that Erin hadn't just condoned the killings, she had orchestrated them. As the case unfolded, Erin was held in Hopkins County Jail, separated from the other suspects. During her trial, she maintained that she had only intended to run away, not to have her family slaughtered. But the evidence told another story. Text messages, witness testimony, and the planning timeline painted a picture of a girl determined to eliminate anyone who stood in her way. In court, Erin Caffey's presence was felt deeply. Still recovering from his injuries, he sat feet away from the daughter who had nearly destroyed him. Prosecutors considered the death penalty for Wilkinson and Wade, but at Terry's request, they opted for life without parole. Erin accepted a plea deal, 2 life sentences plus 25 years. She will be eligible for parole at age 59. Bobby Johnson, who never touched a weapon but stayed behind the wheel of the car, was sentenced to 40 years. According to ABC News, she will be eligible for parole after 20. What happens when a father chooses forgiveness over vengeance? In the months following the murders, Terry considered suicide. His grief was unbearable. But then, on a walk in the woods near the ruins of his home, he saw a message carved into a tree. "You're sovereign, you're in control." That, he told The Independent, was the turning point. In a surprising act of grace, Terry began visiting Erin in prison, monthly. Despite everything, he maintains a complicated relationship with her. He is remarried, has a new family, and spends his time traveling to schools and churches, speaking about faith, survival, and the power of forgiveness. In one interview with ABC News, Terry recalled the moment he screamed from his hospital bed after learning Erin had been arrested. "No, it can't be. Not Erin, not Erin." Public reaction was swift and stunned. In a community where neighbors grew up together and church pews were rarely empty for generations, people couldn't make sense of it. There had been no history of serious trouble, no violence, just a girl in love and a family now gone. NBC News documented how the community struggled to reconcile Erin's involvement with the church-going, musically gifted teen they thought. They knew Erin, now in prison, once sang Amazing Grace during an interview. That moment, eerily calm and hauntingly reflective, offered a glimpse into the conflicted depths of her character. Was it remorse? Was it deflection? Or a remnant of the spiritual world she once inhabited with her family? Charlie Wilkinson and Charles Wade, both serving life without parole, have since expressed remorse from behind bars. Bobby Johnson remains incarcerated. During her trial, Erin insisted she had only planned to run away, never to cause anyone harm. Even years later, behind prison walls, she still tells her father the same thing, that she never meant for blood to be spilled. But the facts, the planning, and the bloodshed say otherwise. How does a 16-year-old reach a point of no return? And what does it say about love, control, and darkness in the teenage mind? This case remains one of the most harrowing examples of domestic betrayal in recent American history. And though the house is gone and the years have passed, that night left scars that haven't faded. The woods outside Alba still whisper what happened beneath the moonlight, a memory that refuses to be forgotten. Terry often shares his story at schools and churches, choosing to focus not on what was taken from him, but on what he's managed to rebuild. This story stands as a stark reminder of how darkness can quietly grow behind even the most peaceful facades. It challenges assumptions about family, faith, and the fragile boundaries of the teenage mind. The tragedy of the Caffey family is not just about loss, but about the complex human capacity for betrayal, forgiveness, and survival. Though the house no longer stands, and the small East Texas town has worked to move on, the echoes of that fateful night continue to reverberate as a lasting testament to how easily love can collapse into destruction. In the words of Erin Caffey, a man who lost everything yet chose grace over vengeance. I lost everything, but somehow I'm still here, and I still believe.